let me record this. We're really leaning into the Wi-Fi and the tech this morning. And technically, Mercury retrograde is shifting tomorrow. So we'll see how we go. I am live streaming into my Facebook page, and I'm also delivering this in Zoom. I'm going to be sharing my screen and ideally recording everything and popping it into my YouTube channel. So let's see how we go. We've got a sense of experiment and fun today, which is in beautiful accordance with my third line. What I want to offer is a human design lens on a revolutionary business model. And I'm just going to turn myself down on my Facebook because it's going to drive me bananas otherwise. Let me see if I can find how to do that. We will sort it out afterwards. Okay, so let's dive in. So of those of you that don't know me, my name's Ann-Maree. I'm currently in Sicily. I'm staying in the countryside in Masseria. So let's hope that the Wi-Fi is going to hold up. This is just a fun, fairly impromptu live that I wanted to do because I got involved in a really revolutionary business model as a side income stream. I'm a real believer, particularly in where we're moving forward beyond 2027, that the more diversity you can bring into your life as far as different systems to lean on and fluctuate between, the better we are. And of course, you want to do that through following your strategy and authority. I definitely did that with this particular business opportunity. I lent into my emotional authority and I'm so glad I did. And I'm even more excited now because yesterday, the 13th of December, actually marked the second year birthday or anniversary of this particular business. And I was like, let's check out the design elements that were at play on the 13th of December, 2022. Now, guys, don't come for me. I know that there's a lot of human design people that are just going to be like, you can't do this. And this is to be taken with a grain of salt. This is a little bit of play. I got inspired to do this because in my own learning with Ra's material, and another amazing masterclass that's on my YouTube channel around Pluto and the global shift and Sedna and different elements around that entire system. Ra actually essentially looked up the design elements of Sedna and Pluto and different planets when they were discovered. And it really gave him a lens into their personality. And I thought, this is kind of cool. Like, why can't we all do that? And so as a projector, third line, I'm going to have a look at all of this. And I also have Gate 49, which is really important around revolution and rebirth. And so I'm all about trying to take what we've got, what we've had, revolutionize it and bring it into something new and different. And this is not to say that I'm not a human design purist. Human design is very near and dear to my heart, but let's keep it light. The whole body of work is an experiment. So let's just play. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I did look at this chart yesterday and I was just so excited. And being an emotional authority, I was like, do I need to sit on this before I share? And I did, also because the lighting was really challenging to do a live stream. So here I am this morning. So bear with me. I will share my screen and let's dive in. Not my Facebook screen. Oh, let's try that again. Let's try that again. Okay, we're going to pause the recording, resume recording. Here we go. Take two. All right. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. All right. So hopefully this is being shared in the way that I'm wanting it to be shared, but let me just minimize this in the meantime in case. So Here we go. Let's have a little look-see at this design. Now, the important thing to really mention before I dive in too much is that this I've used the software for human design, and the software for human design, you can put a birth date in. So in this case, I've used the 13th of December, 2022. But that will then back calculate 88 days for the design elements, because this is how it works for a human design chart. Now, human design comes from the design of forms, and Ra just focused mostly on human design, but he does speak about animals and other beings and non-beings that we share the world with. So this is using the human design software. So I just didn't really pay a lot of attention to the design elements, more so the personality elements. But anyway, we'll have a play. So first of all, the first thing that I really was excited by with all of this is that the actual business entity itself, I saw that it had an open sacral, and I'm like, oh, could it be a projector? But I was just interested because we kind of all expect 70% are, sacrally defined generators, or 70% are generators. And so I thought we were going to have a generator theme as well. And so it was very refreshing to go, oh, it's not a generator. Like, how fun. So this particular business is a manifester, which is super cool because manifestors are the design that are really able to initiate and bring something new. And so it was really perfect that this business, which is quite new and is really breaking a paradigm and breaking some old constructs and bringing something very revolutionary forward, that it's come through a manifester. I'm like, that's great. That's actually in alignment. This is not being forced through a design that is not designed to actually initiate. So that was very exciting. Second point is that we've got the profile of 5-2. So there's a couple of interesting things here. Fifth lines, these are natural leaders. This is a personality leader. The only downside to a fifth line is that they can carry these projections. And certainly with this particular business, it is definitely carrying some projections right now because we're so wary of what is new, but might have elements that we've been familiar with in the past that maybe have been associated with things that are undesirable. Things like dark energy, capitalism, hierarchical structures, illegal pyramid schemes, scams, all this kind of stuff. Something that's carrying a fifth line that's coming into the business world could really have to deal with some of those projections. So that was also really refreshing to see. You have to look beyond the veil and allow that fifth line to show who it actually is and not put your projections all over that fifth line. I know this for myself, that I have fifth line within my chart on my design side. The other really beautiful thing is that the 5-2, now again, the 2 is coming from the design, so it may be there, it may be not, but it's essentially a transitional profile, and these are a sort of subset of the profiles. It's a little bit more unusual. And the interesting thing about them is they all have the motivation of innocence. And this I loved because with a motivation of innocence, this is something or someone that's designed to guide people through a transition without having any intention behind it. And I loved this because we see so much in the business world, this kind of dirtiness of wanting to get something out of you, wanting to manipulate, wanting to like rip you off, take your money. Marketing, we see advertising, we see all of this sort of negativity that was associated with those things of being taken advantage of. And this business has innocence, has its motivation. It's just like, here I am, and do what you want with me kind of thing. Make it what you will. And that's so true for this particular business model, which I just thought was absolutely perfect. So the next thing that I want to really focus on is, I guess, a couple of things related to the defined centers, and not spend too much time here, but another aspect which is really fun, particularly for me as an emotional authority, and knowing that we're moving into a really significant mutation in the emotional system beyond 2027. This is an emotional manifester. So this is a business that has a defined emotional center, meaning it's an emotional authority. So I love that because what I've experienced since jumping into this opportunity is the beautiful momentum of love and feeling and sensation behind it. It is really quite infectious within the amazing community and teams that we're building within this opportunity. And so when I saw this emotional authority, I thought, yeah, that feels really good. And it feels like where we're moving forward into. That's another big plus. Let's talk about the incarnation cross. So the incarnation cross is kind of going to be a summary of about 70% of the overall chart. Again, there's some really interesting aspects here. I saw left angle cross of confrontation. Oh, confrontation sounds bad, but it's really good because it's a fifth line vibe. It's this showing up as I am. I'm going to break some paradigms. I'm not going to be for everyone, but I'm here to bring something new and revolutionary. And this is really beautifully expressed in this left angle cross of confrontation. The other aspect is the fact that it's a left angle means that the karma associated with the destiny of this cross is involving other people. It's not a personal karmic journey. And of course, this is a business. So that's always going to involve others and a collective. So that seemed really aligned as well. So let's have a little bit of a look at this cross. I'm reading some notes here, so bear with me. So I'm just pull my notes up regarding this particular cross. So this particular cross, you have the energy to confront rulership and impose rulership of your own. I love this. It's like saying, this is the old way, and I'm going to confront you, and I'm going to show you a new way, a more collective way with real people power behind it, real equity. And that is so running through the veins of this company, and I love it. You are here to take on people of power who ought to be questioned. So many ways that we've been doing business, that network marketing has been done, MLM, all these structures, they've needed to be questioned. And the CEO and founder of this business has asked those questions, got out of that industry and formulated something that was really going to be incredibly powerful, revolutionary, coming from a space of love and blessing for everybody. And that's what we've actually got. So it's very, very exciting. Additionally, your energy is designed to be provocative because from provocation comes justification. What's happening now is we're having a lot of people that are in similar companies that are really starting to struggle and crumble because they're no longer viable, they're no longer relevant, they are falling away because the global cycle is changing. Looking at this model and going, it's stirring some stuff up, but it's very provocative because it's kind of hitting on some nerves because I see what I wanted to create over here, but this vehicle, this particular structure, the way the business was running things was really greedy at the top and leaving everybody broke underneath. And these new guys, the ones that I'm with, are doing the opposite. This is about equity for everybody globally, and it's more accessible than anything that we've ever seen before in this sort of industry. So I really loved reading about this as well. And also, it's talking about a justification coming from information to get a deeper understanding of what people are about and what they stand for. This is getting people back at the core of business, which is where they should have always been. And this is really beautiful moving forward. So that's a very powerful cross. Let's have a look also. I was very excited to see this defined ego. That is a rarity. Like generally, it's a more minor aspect. But when there's a defined ego, it's like this has really got some capacity to get the job done. Also, this defined heart center, will center, or ego tends to also be a bit of a money center and associated with the capacity to really be able to generate and maintain and build material wealth and prosperity. That's a big plus. You want that attribute in a business. You don't want a business that's going to be sort of wondering if it's doing enough, if it needs to prove or improve itself. This particular business is just sitting back in its brand new lane that it's created, and it's got nothing to prove. It's just waiting for people to come on board to see what it is and come and jump in. And I love that that's really reflected in this defined ego. We've talked about the solar plexus here. We've also, I'll talk a little bit about the spleen because this comes into the health and wellness aspect, which is one of the core pillars of this particular business model. It's one pillar that they're building on, but there'll be many, many, many more pillars that will be coming in the future. But health and wellness is very key and very near and dear to my heart. We've got really powerful root energy that is definitely generating that power to get things done, but it's respecting a cyclical pulsatile nature. And this is also reflected in one of the circuits here, which I'm going to talk about, the 3635. The other really important thing, which also makes this actual entity a manifester as well, is this defined throat. This is about expression and communication. So this is really important, I feel, in a business, this consistent ability to be able to share a message. We've got an ajna, which is defined, beautiful arena of certainty and ability to sort of organize. And the interesting aspect as well is this defined head, which is quite rare. Like only 30% of humans have a defined head. So the rest of us are all walking around asking questions that don't matter. Now, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to partner with a business that is lost in the forest and asking questions that don't matter. And that is not the case with this particular business opportunity. It's got a defined head. And one of the channels here, the 6124, I believe it is, I'm going to talk about that as well. This is a rational, logical channel, and this is a big plus. You know, it's all beautiful to have this emotional, all the feels, all the loves kind of business and authority, but you want it to be grounded in some rational logic because it's here to generate prosperity and commerce. And so that's really important and very refreshing to know that this is coming from a very logic and rational driven direction. So big, big plus for me and a big confidence boost in joining this opportunity for sure. I should say that I've done this totally after. Like I jumped into this company based on my emotional authority, and it's just been very thrilling, you know, a few months later to actually look at this chart now and just go, wow, this is very aligned and makes me more excited to share. So what else have we got here? Let me see. Let's go into the circuitry. So circuitry is a little bit more complex as far as basic human design information. And what I really wanted to focus on or just illuminate is the fact that this particular body graph, I guess I can call it that, is has got all the important elements of circuitry all together. So that's good because to me, it shows that it's able to reach and communicate with the masses. And so we've got the circuitry that's related to empowerment, and this is our individual circuitry. So you want some individuality here. This business is creating a completely new landscape. So it needs to have that individual circuitry in order to be able to do that, even though it has this open G center. So it's got this chameleon-like quality to be able to morph and shift and change within the marketplace. And I think this is brilliant. And that being said, the sacral is undefined. So with the undefined sacral, for me as a projector, this is a big plus. We don't want to keep going on with this sacral-driven work ethic that is just led to a lot of burnout, a lot of excess, a lot of inefficiency up until this point. So I love that moving forward, we've got this business entity that knows when enough is enough. Let's hope that it's got this energy conservation aspect built within it. It's like, let's not overdo. Let's do enough. Let's be very efficient. Let's not use excessive resources. Let's keep it tight. And that's what I'm really looking forward to as well and already seeing, which is very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom this in a little bit if it wants to play with me. Yes, there we go. Just so you can see a little bit better some of this circuitry that I'm going to be talking about. And what we want to focus on first, and I have to credit an amazing resource that I found online here, and this is the HD factor. I have not done a lot of business HD. It hasn't been of interest to me. I'm interested in humans. So this is a little bit of a segue for me, but in my research of actually preparing to present this and share this, I, of course, did some research. And so I found this great resource, the HD Factor. And this was a particular article, 5 business channels in the human design chart. So, of course, I was very excited because I thought, I think there's got to be one here with this defined ego. There usually will be. And of course, we've got the channel 2644, this channel that runs from the ego or will center over to the splenic center. So this is a really nice match between willpower and intuition. So let's have a look at this. And I really love the way that she's described this. So on the YouTube version of this, I will be linking this article for reference, and also on the Facebook version and wherever I post this. So let's have a look at the 2644. This is the channel of surrender. This I love because this is about feminine. This is about yin. This is about not coming from masculine driven doing business acumen and leaning back into this feminine surrender where it's just all magnetic. So this is a nice shift. However, it's also known as the sales master, this 2644. The other thing that I'll add, which to me added extra power and potency to this channel in particular, is that it is a conscious personality channel. So anywhere that's red, the design elements, as I mentioned, may not be fully accurate because this is based on a human chart. But the black is the elements, the transits that were in place the day that this business was launched in 2022. So this one's really worth paying attention to. Okay, so I'm just going to do a bit of reading out. So the channel 2644, you're a natural when it comes to sales and influence. This channel combines a deep understanding of human psychology with the ability to communicate in a way that moves people. Yes, and I'm seeing this and experiencing it for myself within this business. It is incredible. I've never felt anything quite like this in a business opportunity before. And so when I read this, I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. So let's look at the individual gates now. We've got gate 26, which is the trickster. So you might think, this is negative. Don't let the name fool you. This isn't about tricking people. It's about knowing how to package things in a way that makes them irresistible. And it sure has. Gate 26 gives you the ability to sell anything, whether it's an idea, a product, this is the best bit, or a vision. And that's what this company is doing. It is selling a vision more than anything else. And there's a lot of people that are getting stuck in what they've seen before as far as products. But this is a visionary movement. And as a projector who's really here for post 2027, that really excites me. And I think that really, I felt that when I felt this opportunity for the first time. I was like, this feels new and different. And it's really visionary and it's just in its infancy. It's just getting started. So that's very, very exciting as well. Okay. You know how to tell a story that captivates and convinces. Ideal in the business world. And the story of this business is really beautiful and it's only just getting started. Gate 44 down here in the spleen, this is the gate of alertness. Gate 44 is all about recognizing patterns and timing. This is so projector friendly. We are all about recognizing patterns. The timing bit is something that humans really need to get re-educated on. We've become so rushed in the way that we live that timing is really something that we're going to move a little bit more into, and hopefully through the guidance of projectors that are a little bit more leaned back in their energy. This is really interesting to explore. So as far as this gate goes, you know when the right moment is to act or make a move. And I think this is so true because this business and this opportunity for a side income stream has arrived at the most perfect time. I think if it had have arrived earlier, it would have been too early for people, and any later, and we're missing out on all the good stuff that's happening right now. So it's really arrived at this beautiful time, and it's arrived when it's so needed, when it's got the best chance of being recognized by those that can recognize it. It's still going to wear those projections because it's new, it's different, it's revolutionary, but also it's a time where we're looking for alternatives. We're moving into 2027 where the whole cross of planning is going to completely fall away. all the ways that we've built institutions and businesses and governments and that structure and the bargain and those things that are holding our civilization and society together in the ways that we think it is are no longer going to work in the same way post 2027 because the background frequency is shifting. So this is so important because people are looking for alternatives now. There is this itch to get out of employment contracts. There is this desire to have more freedom. There is a desire to have more flexibility, more location freedom. We're having an absolute boom in entrepreneurship, in digital nomads, in all of these different jobs and careers and ways of earning money and circulating resources that we didn't have even 5 years ago. So this moment has arrived where we have enough technology to support this business to be global in the way that it is. And yeah, it's just brilliant. I just think it's brilliant in case you can't tell. So you know when the right moment is to act or make a move. In business, this gives you an edge because you can sense market trends or shifts in client behavior before they even happen. These guys know where we're going. And that is so important in business moving forward. I would not have joined anything that was just repeating an old way of doing things because I know based on the global cycle change where we're going, and that's not going to work. Even old currencies may be falling down. Things are not going to work in the way we've taken for granted. So we really want to make sure that we're aligning ourselves and aligning our wealth creation with an entity, a business, a movement, a vision that can sense market trends or shifts in client behavior, buying patterns before they even happen. And that's why this is a membership model, because the subscription industry is the one that is absolutely exploding right now. In case you haven't noticed or been paying attention, this is your little tap on the shoulder. That is the direction where commerce is moving. So you can jump on, just make sure it's with a good company. So when these two gates come together, the 2644 channel in combination allows you to sell with integrity. Oh, that word. It's so needed in business. We need to really get back to having integrity in the way that we are generating wealth, in the way that we're creating products and services, because we've got a planet to look after. We've got a growing, booming population to look after. We've got some of the worst health and well-being on this planet right now. We need that addressed as well. Integrity and timing, making this business a powerhouse in marketing, sales, or any client-facing role. I could close the call right there, but I won't. I'm going to continue going on. The other channel that I really wanted to focus on here was this 3536, because this is the channel of transitoriness. This is about moving in cycles and accepting the seasons of life. This business is not about just setting up a rigid structure and leaning back and going, bring in the money. This business already has a plan of evolution and growth and expansion, diversification. They've got health and wellness products right now, but that's not the only place that they're going to stay. We're going to be moving into digital products, travel, water filters, who knows what else, pet products. The pet industry is booming. These are all industries that you want to align yourself with because there is safety in the diversity. And that's what we really want, all of us moving forward. As things start to get shaky and destabilized, you want as much diversity within your income streams, within your resources that you possibly can have. We've had a little hint in the past as to why this is so important. I won't talk about that, but those of you that are picking up what I'm putting down, you're onto it. So this is all about having that capacity to be cyclical, to move in phases, and to change and be adaptable as needed. And that is super important. So I think that's, yes, the other thing that I wanted to mention with this channel, which is interesting because it's not linked to the spleen, but there is this health and wellness note that I made here, which I'll mention. Okay. No, sorry. Yes, this is the 1858. So I will talk about the 1858, of course. I'm like, why is this here? My own notes. Okay, the 1858, a passion for life, a quest for perfection, and an intense desire to correct what may be wrong. This is related to like the channel of judgment. This is looking at things and going, how can we make it better in like this harsh, really matriarchal energy way. The drive to make things right can be applied to numerous facets of life, from personal relationships and health to broader societal issues. Now, I know that the CEO that launched this company did it because he had a sense that he needed to make some things right. He worked in the network marketing industry for decades, not too long because he's not super old, but for decades, I believe. And he had success there and he mastered it, but he could see the problems within it. And he could see the absolute opportunities within it as far as the people power. And that is undeniable. People are the best marketing for each other. So network marketing works. It just has had broken vehicles. And so he waited, he left, he allowed things to percolate. He got on with his life. He navigated a pandemic like the rest of us and came out with a different vision. And so he wanted to make things right. And he was never going to get in that industry again if it couldn't be more equitable and everybody could win, because that's not what was going on in the outdated models. So he brought forward a model where everyone can win. And that's why in this business, we have got leaders, top leaders popping up in places like Kazakhstan, the Philippines, Korea. Like, this is very, very exciting for me, at least, because it shows this true global capacity. And what else did it say here? Yes, the health, the health, the health. It can lead individuals to not just envision a better world, but also take practical steps towards actualizing it. Fifth line profile is all about universalizing and practical solutions. This business is a practical solution to a global problem of inequality in accessing high quality health and well-being supplements and support, and also in resource circulation. And this is addressing all of those, which makes my heart just explode. The challenge here lies in understanding the right time and place to offer these corrections, as not everyone may be open to receiving change. And that is very true. That's why in this journey, I'm inviting and sharing as much as I can, because it's not my decision to make for people, but I see this for what it is at a deep level. And so it's very, very easy to just tell people, hey, there's this thing that I think that you should see, that I think that you should know about, and let them get to where they need to go as far as whether it's a decision for them, a yes, or it's a no. And that's okay, because I have no skin in the game as far as that goes, because I'm backing this entity and this movement 100%. So even though the timing may be right, not everyone's going to be ready to see what is on offer here. And that's okay, because it's going to be around for a while. This is about being an advocate for health-conscious policies at the workplace, or fulfill roles that directly involve promoting health and well-being. Need I say more? I think I've already said plenty and too much. So I don't know how long I've been going for, but I think that is pretty much everything that I wanted to really address without getting too crazy or going into too much detail, and just keep it fun and light. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, come back. Hopefully Facebook stayed with me. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm a projector. I can't be distracted. I need to stay focused. This was very multitasky for me. So I hope that was of value. What do I want to leave as parting words? I mean, you felt my excitement, you felt my enthusiasm, you've managed to maybe see modality, knowledge base of human design applied in a really interesting way that is different, and that shows you what might be possible if you're in the human design world. If you're not in the human design world, then this maybe has completely blown your mind and you're like, what on earth is she talking about? Either way, if you want information on any of the things that I've discussed, if you want to give me some feedback, preferably nice feedback, but whatever, bring it. I'm happy to hear from people and connect. And if this chart reading about this business opportunity has resonated with you, then reach out to me because this is a way that I can reach people as well through something that I'm passionate about. And this is the other thing I guess I want to leave with that's just coming through now. This is about supporting you with what you already love to do. It's not about you have to drop everything in your life and then you have to pivot and do this business. This is a side income stream that is going to give you residual monthly income, month in, month out, growing in the years to come that you can share with your family and loved ones and truly build generational wealth. I have not seen any investment level model that has the return that this does, but also has the human factor. There's this profound love and vision and humanity within this model that to me is undeniable. And that's what's grabbed hold of my heart and got me running with this. So if you're looking for something that doesn't feel like icky business, come along. Come along and just take the shades off. Be willing to see something different. Be willing to open yourself to something different. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. So I hope this was of value. I hope you at least had fun. I certainly did. I trust that it went how it was supposed to go with all the different elements that came into play. And see you somewhere on the virtual space. Ciao.